This week on The Grind, we shoot some greenheads on a warm water creek, then head to the corn for big wads of mallards.
I yearn for a place to call my own. I'm going home. Say what you will, I'll be better for it still. I've been wondering what you're doing with your time, just to get you off my mind. I'm in the grind.
The Grind Waterfowl TV is brought to you by Dakota Decoy, premium gunning decoys for demanding hunters. Lucky Duck, masters of deception. Rio, official ammunition of The Grind. Share the experience. Mud Buddy, the king of mud motors. Excel, the boat to own. Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy, the world's most accessible online retriever training program. High Mountain Seasonings, handcrafted jerky, seasonings, and meat processing tools. Lifetime Decoys, premium decoy rigging equipment. Sitka Gear, turning clothing into gear. Alps Outdoors, exceed your expectations. And these fine sponsors. This segment is brought to you by Mud Buddy and Excel Boats.
Cool part about this whole valley is they've got these warm or hot water springs that are actually coming up out of the ground, almost artesian. But we had a cool hunt. On one of the hunts is the boys found one of these streams, or little creek. I mean, I'm old, I can't throw a baseball anymore, but I could kick a baseball across this thing. It was so narrow, and they don't freeze. And we say it all the time, water means ducks, and it's like a hot tub for them, and it's crazy how they get into these things.
It's no surprise that waterfowl hunters have a love for small water hunts. There's a familiarity to it. Maybe it's because many of us grew up jumping wood ducks off of drainages and hunting the local river. Even then, that love seems to go up a notch when it comes to warm water creeks. While warm water creeks can be found anywhere and caused by anything from power plants to natural hot springs, they are most common in the Pacific and Central flyways, where hot springs can find their way out of the sides of hills and mountains. And because of the small nature of these creeks, they can be hard to find and hard to hunt. But if the birds have open water and food, it can make for an exceptional opportunity. With it being late in the season and limited open water around, we knew these birds would be coming back once they had their corn for the day.
That was good. That was a good one right there.
It wasn't long and we knew we'd be working a little more for our birds. Gray skies make it hard to hide, and no wind meant the ducks could circle all they want and peek in on our hide. Even with less than optimal conditions, we started picking away.
Oh, that stoned him. Yeah, kill that drake. Lost him. Ooh.
This segment is brought to you by Rio Ammunition.
Put your feet down.
That's all we need is just a little tiny bit of west-northwest wind.
Good boy. Good boy.
So our afternoon hunt of the first day, we went out and hunted this warm water stream or creek.
We went out, chased some ducks on a small warm water creek, just holding a boatload of ducks.
And it was tough conditions. We had no wind, we had beautiful sun in the morning, we lost our sun. We like sun with mallards.
It was a little challenging though. We set up kind of in this bottom. We thought that you know, it would be a good hide.
And it was hard to hide. You know, we killed a limit of birds. It was fun, but they were picking us out, and it's hunting. You know, you can't always hide the way you want to hide, and it was tough. We got snow. There was really no cover. We're right next to this creek.
Just take the time, look around, see what your concealment is, see where the birds are coming from, be where they want to be, and that's exactly what we had to do, and we just had to adjust. So be open to doing that, and we ended up, you know, chipping away at singles and pairs all day long.
We made it happen. It was cool. You know, we started picking away at ones and twos, and when we did get the birds, they were at like 10 yards, so it was really fun. But the amount of birds on that stream, it was unbelievable. It was like a black hole out there. There's a duck bin in the corn.
Hold him. Nice shot, buddy.
Thank you. We had an absolute barn burner goose hunt this morning. One of those ones that's the kind of thing you live for, but it was over pretty quick. And so it was fun to have an afternoon duck hunt that wasn't so immediate. We ended up bagging our limit of birds, but it was onesies, twosies. And then of course, after it was all done, we needed one more duck. The big flock finished right when we needed it to. And we had to let one guy just pick out one. It was really neat though. It was just an unforgettable day with everything combined.
Hey guys, I'm Barton Ramsey with Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy, and this is a retriever training quick tip. When multiple marks are shot or multiple birds are shot in the field, retriever is going to decide which one of those to get. There's two different ways that you can go about this. If you let your dog pick which bird to get, this is called primary selection. Oftentimes this is going to be the last thing to hit the ground, but occasionally it won't be. Occasionally if you have a dog that loves water and one bird hit the land and another bird hit the water, and the water bird fell first, they may want to go get the one in the water. Just let them choose. This is primary selection. Secondary selection is where you, as the handler of the dog, choose the bird. In order to teach secondary selection, you're going to want to do some poison bird marks. So you're going to want to have a mark that goes off, know the bird off that mark, and either run a blind or run a different mark, or just run multiple marks. Make sure the dog sees the second one hit the ground, pull the dog off of that one, and run the first one that hit the ground. Now you're going to want to have a dog who's able to handle on blind retrieves before you do this, in case you need to stop them and redirect them to the mark that you want them to pick up. This can be important in hunting. If you have multiple birds hit the ground, one of them's a cripple who's swimming away, but your dog is focused on one who's stone cold dead in the decoys, you're going to want to be able to pull your dog off of the dead bird, line it on the cripple who's swimming away, pick that one up, and then retrieve the dead bird second. So this would be secondary selection. It's very important that you teach both in your training regimen.
This segment is brought to you by Dakota Decoy.
How's it going today, Mr. Wacky?
Pretty good. It's warming up a little bit. Birds are gonna fly, and we're gonna be in the field they want to be in. It's gonna be a good one.
Day 2 here with Angel Wing Outfitters, Ethan Kirk. We had an awesome first day. Killed the geese in the morning, had a really good duck hunt in the afternoon. Going after ducks and geese in a cornfield. About mid-morning they've been starting to hit this, so we're just getting set up now. We're going to try and get some layouts out with snow covers and get after them and see what happens. But it should be, there's a lot of birds around there hitting this field last night and yesterday during the day a lot. So I think we got a good chance of having a heck of a day on day 2.
Heck yeah, it is.
So day 2, actually when we were hunting on day 1, the mallard hunt on the creek, Ethan got a call and they found a huge feed in the corn. So Ethan left us and went to scout the field, and he came back with a smile on his face, and it's hard to describe. I mean, they've got a lot of snow out here right now. There's 8, 10, 12 inches of snow on the ground, and birds, when it's cold, won't go till it's the warmest part of the day, which is typically right before the sun's about to go down. So they're hard to hunt. But you throw snow in the mix, it turns them into survival mode, kicks in basically. So we got out there, we got set up and got the Lucky HDs going, a bunch of Signature Series geese, and stood around and talked, and all of a sudden out of the sun, it's like they came from the sun, the ducks started coming, and you'll see it was probably one of the best duck hunts I've ever been on. When you have the snow throwing light up on the bottom of these birds, they just glow. The hens were white, the drakes were lit up like lanterns.
They're gonna swing and do it. Get ready, boys. Come on, that's what we want right there.
Shoot him.
Wasn't very good. No, I didn't even shoot. You gotta get them squared up. We're gonna have to pull these. Couldn't get this lid up. Pull the spinners in tighter. Get it done.
One of the things that's funny is we had the first flock come by and they didn't do it quite right, so we decided to make a move on the lucky ducks, and Bill, he goes, guys, I think we need to keep a couple of those luckies on this bottom end. They keep trying to land on top of them. And nobody listened to Bill, even though wise Bill had the right idea. He moved one up the spread and ended up working out for us. The ducks were finishing in our face.
You guys gotta get those spinners off. That'll work. Next. That'll work. He's hit.
Well, we're back day 2 here in western Nebraska with Ethan Kirk and Angel Wing Outfitters, and we're set up on a huge duck feed, and there's been some honkers in here too, and it's kind of nice. Ethan let us sleep in this morning. We didn't leave till 7. Tim and I enjoy that. So we got set up this morning. We just had the first flock of ducks we saw, did it. They were a little wide. We made a few adjustments, and we just had a nice little bunch of honkers come in too. So we're pretty excited. Big duck feed with some honkers thrown in.
Kill that single. They light up. I want that group out in front. Oh, right here. Go! Good shoot, boys. That's what I'm talking about. That one right up here. Hurt him. Oh, yeah. Shot that one. Hey, Tim. Tim, see moving that one. One spinner did it all. Hey, that bismuth is nasty. Yeah. Hey, we better buckle in. There's a whole bunch.
Got ducks all over the place.
This segment is brought to you by Lucky Duck Premium Decoys.
Look at all the ducks in the gap over there.
Shoot him. Yeah, he's down. I got him. Oh, geez. Look at that. Sean, look to the left. There you go. That was thick. They were thick as thieves, boys. I mean, look at this, sun's perfect. They pop so well. We just shot these here, and that is just awesome. Awesome color, great curls. These beautiful birds are so white in the sun today with the snow. I mean, you can pick drakes out from a mile away. It's just amazing. Shoot up!
So one thing about cornfield mallards, I mean, they obviously are coming to the spinning wing decoys. The HDs were doing their job, and you'd look up and you'd see 15, next thing 15 had turned into 150. Most of the time on cornfield ducks with no wind, that first pass is your best pass. And they are losing altitude. They're coming hot, they're coming heavy. Took turns toward the end. We'd call people out. It was just a whole lot of fun. The coolest part about the day 2 mallard hunt was the light.
It's really something to see those birds coming in. The mallards just light up, they glow.
Beautiful sunny day. You could pick out the drakes with ease.
I mean, there was not a cloud in the sky. We had bright blue sky, beautiful sun.
And the sun reflecting off the snow, shining up. Some of those mallards, they look pure white as they're coming in. And
if you can't pick out drakes, you're colorblind because they look like lanterns out there. The most beautiful thing in the world is a mallard with sun on it, a drake mallard with sun on it.
Next week on The Grind, we wrap up our season back in the winter wheat shooting giant Canadas.